right. We're going to go ahead and get this thing started. Good evening, family. Welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Make sure you hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Hit that notification bell as we are live. We are live, and I'm coming at you with five. If you're watching on X, if you're watching on ScrewTube, here on Rumble, welcome, welcome, welcome. Make sure you're hitting that like, share, and subscribe button so that the views will go up, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure y'all are doing that. Follow us, follow us, follow us. So we have some breaking news, some sad news to report earlier today. It was announced courtesy of co-star Haywood Nelson from What's Happening that Danielle Spencer, Dr. Danielle Spencer, I'm going to call her by her moniker, who played Dee on What's Happening, little sister to Raj on the hit sitcom What's Happening, has passed away at the age of 60. Now, while nothing official has been given as to her cause of death, it is important to note that Danielle had actually been going through breast cancer, apparently, almost battling this thing for over 20 years. According to the reports, Haywood Nelson, he wrote on Instagram, he took to Instagram and stated the following. Uh, Haywood, of course, played Dwayne, who was Roger's best friend. Danielle was the sarcastic, smart sister to Raj, always getting him in trouble. Like, ooh, I'm going to tell mama. That was her. And interesting enough, that show was also created by Eric Monty. Eric Monty, of course, was the creator or co-creator of Good Times. And that show, What's Happening, was based off a movie he did in 1975, a hit movie called Cooley High. They adapted into a TV series. So, that's Danielle. So, according to the reports, Haywood Nelson wrote the following. He said, brilliance. It comes in a great many forms. We all have them, and we all have this family's Dr. Danielle Spencer, born June 24th, 1965, deceased on August 11, 2025. Dr. D, a brilliant, loving, positive, pragmatic warrior without fail, has finally found her release from the clutches of this world and body. We celebrate Danielle Spencer and her contributions as we regret to inform her departure and transition from a long battle with cancer. We have lost a daughter, sister, family member. What's Happening cast member, veterinarian, animals rights proponent and healer, and cancer heroine, our Shiro. All is love. She will be missed in this form and forever embrace. And looks like they have tagged several people. I don't know who, but Ernest Lee Thomas, who was one of the actor who played Raj, her brother. Uh, of course, he was there. We also know him from what's Everybody Hates Chris because he plays the funeral director who lives uh, in Chris's building. But before that, of course, he was Raj on What's Happening. I also knew him. He did Spike Lee's Malcolm X, where he played one of the uh, disciples of Islam, who was the son of, I believe, Brother Bane. Bane is the fictional character. I have to say fictional because reality Malcolm X was actually introduced to the Nation of Islam through his older sister Ella. But that actually was who he played, that character. But getting back to Danielle Spencer, I want to make it about her because we're talking about her passing and what happened with her. Uh, I'm sorry, I got a phone call. Okay. So Danielle Spencer, and we're talking about her, and and what she's been through. She had been battling cancer, I'm sorry, apparently, and fought her final fight, which sadly she'd been battling for 20 years. But it's also reported that she had been injured back in the 70s in a car accident, and she was still suffering from the same injury. So in 1977, she was in a car accident with her stepfather, Tim Pelt, who Pelt had died at the scene apparently, but Danielle had been in a coma for 3 weeks and spent nearly 6 months in physical therapy. After, of course, What's Happening was canceled, she actually stepped away from acting and attended UC Davis and earned her degree in veterinary science when she later went to Tuskegee University's veterinarian school and became a veterinarian. So, Tuskegee University Veterinary School, excuse me, I said veterinarian, but she became a veterinarian and an animal rights activist. And if you recall, in the 80s, there was a reboot I remember watching. It was called What's Happening Now, where Raj was married. The guys had grown up and got their own apartments, had their own lives. I think Rerun was an actor in the show. I can't remember what Dwayne was doing, but Raj was actually ended up owning a diner, and he was a writer. So that's what he did. He got married to the Anna Marie Hasford character. Of course, the mother, Mabel King, who was the mom, I believe she got sick and didn't attend the show. I think she passed sometime in after or during the show. I can't remember exactly, but Shirley Hemphill, who was uh, played Shirley, the sassy waitress, she actually was on that show too for a while. But you know who got their break on that show? Martin Lawrence. Martin was on that show before he did his own sitcom. Martin, he was on that show as well. That's where that was a show I watched, and that lasted for like 3 seasons, I think, in syndication. Yeah, it is very sad, Stacy, that she's passed on. I'm happy to know at least that she's not suffering anymore, given the fact that she had been battling cancer. That's a terrible thing to go through. I've seen, especially loved ones who have gone through cancer and battled. It's not great to have. So we certainly wish her, family nothing but love and kindness. That's really what I wanted to come about this show. This was not going to be long, and we want to remember her for the talented actress that she was, because an activist. She was also a veterinarian, which is something that she enjoyed doing, apparently. So she was able to have a career outside of the acting world, because a lot of people don't even get that. They, especially roles that don't come, they have nothing to fall back on. And so she was able to have a second career and be an animal rights activist as well as a veterinarian. And one thing I remember, a good thing about her that we can celebrate, is that we at least can go back and watch reruns of What's Happening and What's Happening Now and still see her on the program, and she can still make us laugh. So she physically may no longer be here, but uh, in spirit. But at least we can turn on the TV. Same thing with Malcolm Jamal Warner and see them again, and they can. That's, I look at it as their way of saying hello, and that's a perfect way to look at that. Uh, Hold on one second. All right, hold on. My battery's dying. Let me just plug my thing in. So make sure everybody too, if you are on this channel, make sure you're sharing it. My family on X, Make sure you, if you're on X, make sure you share it. I get more viewers and subscribers actually on the X channel than I have on YouTube, which is very great. I enjoy that very much. I'm thinking about it. So there have been three members of that show: Mabel King, Shirley Hemphill, and Rerun passed away, I believe, in 2003. I remember this. Yeah, I remember Rerun. And Rerun, of course, I think was the big star from the show because everybody remember there's always that breakout character. And he was that because he was a big dude that was always dancing and stuff. Rerun was actually a Soul Train dancer. A lot of people don't know that. He used to do break dance. You can all, and this all on YouTube. You can see it. Yeah. Right. Malcolm Jamal Warner is gone. Yeah, I know. 2025 hasn't been that great yet. Sly Stone is gone. Yeah. We've had a lot of people. Remember almost 10 years ago in 2016, we lost, and this is just in general, we lost some key people. Like Carrie Fisher had died, and then her mom died, like right on the same day, Debbie Reynolds. I'm trying to think of other people who passed there. It's death does not sleep. And take a break. So yeah. But yeah, you got to remember the good times that we had with her. And Danielle was a breakout character. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people. Yeah, the actor Michael Madsen. So Deadline, we're in August already, man. This year's almost up. Yeah, we've lost a lot of key people. A lot of people in the entertainment industry. Yeah, you see that photo right there. The guy Brian Wilson, who was the co-founder of the Beach Boys, he passed. I think he had Alzheimer's, but he had been in bad health for a while. Yeah, but a lot of people. He and Sly Stone. I'm charging my phone. I believe passed around on the same weekend, if I'm not mistaken. That is D right there. Hold on. This is a picture of D. Yeah, she's cute. Yeah, you met Brian Wilson, Stacy. Stacy said she met. Oh, you met a Beach Boy. Now, what was he like? Yeah, Ricky Harris was. Ricky Harris was on Bone. I just saw Bones. Ricky Harris was on Everybody Hates Chris too. Malvo. It's the 20th anniversary of Hurricane Katrina. I met Spike Lee once. Spike Lee shook my hand, but like he didn't have time to talk to me. I remembered. So yeah, Ricky Harris played Eddie Mack in Bones. Yeah, Jimmy. Oh man, bye loop de loop. What it was and what it will be, and it will be your ass. Yeah. Y'all make sure you smash up the likes, smash up the likes. I have, of course, what's happening actually was a little bit before my time, but I remember watching the reruns from that show as well as what's happening now. Uh, I, I don't believe what's happening was on a great deal of time. I think it only lasted about 3 seasons, which is not a lot to get you technically into syndication now. If you are trying to get into syndication, typically you're expected to make at least 100 episodes, at least back then in like the 80s and 90s. But now, of course, with the advent of apps and you got Paramount Plus, you got Disney Plus, you have HBO Max, and what's the other streaming services y'all can think of? Too much, too many of them. Apple Plus. Now you don't have to work and have 100 episodes. You could 6 seasons could be made up of 40 episodes, and that's enough because the shows get critically acclaimed. The production values, of course, are coming through not just with advertisers, but also all the people who are buying up these apps. And keep in mind something, y'all. All of these streaming apps, the prices are going to go up. It's actually going to be more cost you just about the same as paying cable. Paramount Plus. We just talked about this. Paramount was just purchased by Skydance. They had that merger, and the Redstone family don't own it anymore. There's an article online. I haven't read it, but just the headline. They said Taylor Sheridan is no longer the number one priority on Paramount. Taylor Sheridan is the one who created Yellowstone. You dig? I don't remember Ricky Harris's stand-up. I know he was on Def Jam. And speaking of which, they said something about, and I don't want to get off topic a little bit with Danielle, but then speaking of which, they said Ari Lennox, who was riffing on Martin because she tried to come up with some stuff about Martin and how he attacked Pam. Someone showed me, I read somewhere that she was going in on Bernie Mac too and his jokes. So it is true. She doubled down on criticism on Martin. And Bernie Mac. This generation, so I'm just gonna say it, they soft. Y'all are soft. Yeah, Bernie was on Moesha. I'm aware of that. She ain't got nothing to say about Al Bundy on Fox. Al Bundy was even worse than Martin. Married with Children. The stuff Al would say about women, about especially fat women, he would be considered fat shaming. I want a balloon. You've already got one. You know, the stuff he said about his wife. He wanted to go bowling. Oh, Al, why don't you bowl me over? Well, Peg, I prefer a place where my balls will return promptly, unlike our marriage. Al was ruthless. Al was ruthless. He didn't care. So a little bit on Danielle. Yeah. Peg didn't treat him right either. Peg didn't treat right her family right. Peg wouldn't cook or clean. And she used to belittle him about his job. But look, the funny thing is Al Bundy never cheated on his wife. And somehow on a shoe salesman's salary, he was able to pay a mortgage and all the bills. She'd take his money and go anywhere. But he wouldn't, he had no life. Oh, come on, Peg, not tonight. I don't want to go upstairs. I don't want to share any videos, obviously, because I could get a copyright strike. But let's see. So we have some stuff on Danielle Spencer. Danielle actually, she was looks like she was married twice. So let's just to talk about Danielle. So it looks like Danielle was married to Gary Fields from 1999 to 2013. In 2014, she married David L. David, who she apparently was still married to at the time of death. Nothing indicates that she had been divorced. Uh, Although from what they're reporting, their marriage may have ended before Spencer passed in 2025, as obituaries do not list David among her survivors. So she had no children. Uh, and as a matter of fact, her husband, David L. David, was introduced to her by her brother, her TV brother, Raj Ernest Lee Thomas. So, yeah, that's her as a kid. Yeah, what's happening now? What's happening only had 65 episodes, but they did so well in reruns that they ended up doing a sequel series, the What's Happening Now, and she would reprise her role. And that only lasted about 3 seasons at about 66 episodes. Yeah. Matter of fact, Raina King, who is a sister of Regina King, she played a little girl that Raj and his wife adopted. Yeah. Ken Sakos, who played in Dream Warriors. Yeah, he was in there. He played Roland Kincaid in Nightmare on Elm Street movies. I remember him. Yeah, but Martin Lawrence got his start on the show. Yeah, Sherry Hemphill, if I'm not mistaken, was one of his mentors. Because Martin was managed by a guy named Topper Carew. Topper Carew used to pay Martin's rent, used to pay, put food on the table for him. He was also the co-creator of Martin. They did a movie together called Talking Dirty After Dark. Topper Carew was also Robin Harris's manager. Yeah. So he made DC Cab. I've never seen that one. Talking dirty after dark. Yeah, John Witherspoon. Everybody from House Party, I think, is in that movie, maybe with the exception of Kent and Play. But Martin, John Witherspoon, I'm surprised BB Drake ain't in it. She's not in it. But the brother who played Tiny Lister is in it. So yeah, practically all of those people from everybody from Friday or House Party is in that film. Yeah. But anyway, we've gotten off, man. But Mark Curry was in this, yeah. Phyllis Yvonne Sticky. Tukey Smith. Tukey Smith actually has kids with Robert De Niro. That's Robert De Niro's girl. Yeah, she was in 227. I remember her. She's Right. Oh, so Stacy, you knew those two. I met John. I didn't meet John Witherspoon, but John Witherspoon came to Southern and performed stand up when I was at Southern, and I actually got to get a shirt by him. Pops. Yeah, Tiny Lister, I think, was a cool guy from all accounts. He was well loved. I think he and Chris Tucker good friends. I'm not in real life. I'm sure he and Ice Cube, because he was in a lot of Ice Cube's movies. Yeah, all he played was bad guys. But he had over like 100 credits. Yeah. I was sad about his passing. Tiny is from Arkansas. Pine Bluff, Arkansas. Yeah. But at any rate, y'all, I didn't want to make this long. We're losing a lot of legends. We're losing a lot of people in our lives, and that's why it's important to go out, support them if you can, man. Support your comedians, your actors, our heroes and legends. Because look, tomorrow ain't promised to us, and that's the main thing. But live your life to the fullest, and especially do well for others. And we know from this, especially the work that Danielle Spencer has done, she's going to live, a part of her is going to live in everybody, especially in her survivors, for all the work that she's put in. Yeah. Stacy, make sure you have my email address, huh? Hit me up. You on the West Coast? You met Ice Cube. I wonder what you think of Ice Cube's immigration comments. Because Tim Black was going in on him, and I saw DL. Yeah, DL Hughley always going to go in on anybody that's not Democrat. I'm going to just say this. I know DL has got a quip for words. Ice Cube is not the one either. If you went in on Ice Cube will fire back. Roland Martin tried that. And Cube checked him. I saw the video. I didn't watch the whole thing, and I don't really want to comment on it. But yeah, Tim Black was talking about it. I saw last night, and I saw Comedy Hype stated DL Hughley was going in on him. Well, just look it up on YouTube, Stace. All right. Stacy, shoot me an email, please. You have my email address. We're almost at, I know we got more than 10 people watching because we got the people on Rumble, but yeah, that it is. Dee's passing is like losing a little sister. Yeah. Well, I said this wasn't going to be a long show, y'all. I just wanted to take the opportunity to remember Dr. Danielle Spencer. May she rest in peace. Shout out to her and her family and friends who all knew her. And I don't know if if I can watch some episodes of What's Happening, I might watch a couple tonight. Who knows? Just in memory of her. All right, y'all. Y'all be safe and be blessed, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy the rest of your evening. We're almost to the middle of the week. It's hump day. I got more campaigning to do. So I will see you all in the next one. Be safe, and be blessed. Hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Subscribe to the Rumble channel at Random Topics, ladies and gentlemen. I'll holla. Peace. Rest in power. Danielle, you are loved, and you certainly will be missed. I'm going to actually share the screen as I get out of here of our sister. Let's give her a black fist, ladies and gentlemen. One black fist for Danielle. Sister D. All right. Put a fist in the chat for D. whoever you are, wherever you are, hope you are blessed and doing safe. Ladies and gentlemen, greetings, family. Of course, I'm tuning in. You see me without the glasses off today, but if you're looking for some opportunities, particular advertisement opportunities, then look no further at the link at the bottom to my email address. You can hit me up for advertisement opportunities. We are supporting and promoting your businesses here on this channel. You can also, if you would like to donate and subscribe to our Patreon, a link is at the bottom as well. So you have multiple ways in which you can advertise with the platform by emailing me when we go on through our live stream. You also have access to premium content, those that want to see premium content that you will not find here on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter, as I am suspended probably by now. You guys can check out the Patreon at link at the bottom. But advertisement opportunities, definitely email me, gavin.grich1@gmail.com for rates. And for the Patreon, it is the same as the YouTube channel. It is channel gboot2786. All right, I'll holla. Peace.